What's up, everybody? We're back again. It's another episode of the Dad Bod Golf Pod, recording live from bunkers in Auburn, Alabama, parked right under the building in those 50 parking spots.
Yeah, I don't think you realize if you come here that there's plenty of parking.
Oh,
they
it's
got
fantastic.
a sign up on the side of the building that says bunkers parking, but everybody that we run into is like, where do you park? I'm like, did you not see the big sign on the side of the building that said park here?
Maybe the best part about this place. But anyway, we got a ton to talk about tonight. We got Scottie Scheffler, got his charges dropped. We're going to talk a little bit of Women's U.S. Open. And then we had a rookie caddy performance. Had a little bit of same issues I did my
Kyle's
first
been
time.
there.
I get it. But we'll get there. But before we do that, we got to give a shout-out to Bet Online, the #1 sports betting website in the country. Sign up today, get a 50% welcome bonus, give them $100. They're going to give you $50 back on top free to play with. Tons of stuff to bet on. It's your one-stop shop for the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, all kinds of sports. They got every line you can imagine.
Baseball every night.
Every night. And when those games are over, you can check out the online casino and have a lot of fun there. What could go wrong?
Hit the under.
Yeah.
They've softened the baseballs, so they're not hitting as many home runs. Hit the under.
Yeah, there you go. Bet Online, it's where the game starts. Ben.
Hold on before we get started. See that?
I love it. The AK hat. Love it.
AK.
Send the check.
The check.
Send the check. It looks good, dude. I tried it on. It's got a real deep fit, which is good because I have a gourd head. I got a big head.
It's not that big.
What is?
Man, I guess I got a big head too then because you didn't adjust the back. It still fits you.
Dude, I'm telling you, hats don't fit me right. I got to have like they always sit up real high. Like I got to have a very deep pocket that I can pull it down because otherwise it just kind of sits on top.
I got a shirt too. You got to get the shirt.
Yeah.
Girl dad. I got a girl dad shirt.
The girl dad shirt, yeah.
Pink too. Had to go with pink.
I love it.
Yeah. Send the check. AK.
I forgot what we were going to talk about. Oh, yeah.
Scottie.
So this happened shortly after we recorded last week, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it. There was some funny stuff to talk about, but Scottie Scheffler, as predicted, the charges were dropped. They had released a bunch of videos. I say a bunch. There was like 3 videos that
never showed the officer getting knocked down.
They never showed the officer getting knocked down, which there was a huge bus in the way of the one that you can actually see him running.
There was 2 buses. Yeah. It was tough.
You couldn't. So if theoretically Scottie did drag him down, there could be a spot where you wouldn't be able to see it based off the video. But they released all this stuff and nothing was really helping the case. I don't feel like and it just. The DA comes out and just says they're going to drop charges. So he's not going to have to go to trial for any of the 4 charges that he had, one being a felony assault on a police officer. And I don't think anybody's shocked. I think I'm more shocked that it took 2 or 3 weeks to do.
Well, because you saw why. I mean, because they said dropping the charges with no pending litigation.
Right.
Like they didn't. Yeah. Neither side.
We'll drop it, but you can't sue us.
And so there's a couple of takeaways that I got from this. Number one is, I thought that the audio of Scheffler, and I know that we're Dad Bod Golf Pod and we're pro golf and we love Scottie Scheffler and we love what he stands for and all that kind of stuff. So I may be a little biased and maybe I'm looking through this through Scottie glasses.
Yeah.
But I thought that the audio where the officer is, like his lawyer said, asking questions that were leading to Scottie, where it was like, did you know you did this? And Scottie was like, no. Did you know you did this? No. Did you? And so I thought the audio was more damning to the police department than it was to Scottie, just because he did not know what he did. And then they were like, and you hurt him and he's injured and he's being seen about by paramedics. And Scottie was like, I'm sorry. I didn't understand. Like, he was beating on my window and he drugged me out of the car.
No, here's what he said. Here's the thing. Scottie's window was down. He said he hit him through the window.
And so, also, the thing that stuck out in my mind, Scottie kept saying he never identified himself as a police officer. And he said, well, he's wearing a reflective jacket. Yeah, the same ones you buy at Lowe's and Home Depot that the workers on the side of the road wear. Like, it wasn't – it did say police on the back, but it did not say anything on the front.
And also – there was 2 police officers involved. The first one waved him through.
Yes.
And then this other one comes out of nowhere and is telling him to stop. Yeah. It's pretty easy to see how confusing it could get. I tell you what, I was impressed. If that was me, I don't care how many times I go to church on Sunday and church on Sunday night and Wednesday prayer meeting and all that good stuff, Bible study, small groups. I don't care how much you go to that. If you're in that situation, you're probably not going to be as polite.
No, you're going to be a little more defensive than what he was.
And he was incredibly defensive. Like, one thing the guy said was, Scottie had said, I knew the first guy was a cop that waved me through. I didn't know the second guy was a cop. And he said, well, why would that matter? And Scottie said, well, I don't know. I should have stopped anyway. No,
you don't stop for random people that are trying to flag you down.
Yeah, you
listen. We have this rule because I work on a news talk station, and we say this all the time because we see these incidents and we go, don't get out of the car. Like, do not get out of the car if you do not know who is asking you to get out of the car. That we say that all the time because we get reports all the time of, whether it be in Atlanta or Birmingham, like, maybe a bump in and somebody comes up and like drags somebody out of the car. And it's like, why did you get out and talk with them? You should have just waited for police to arrive.
Yeah.
And so he goes through the first stop. He's clear. He goes to the second one. The guy is not wearing a jacket that has any sort of badge or police identification, or a hat that has any sort of badge or police identification, and he does not identify himself as a police officer trying to pull him over.
Yeah.
When Scottie has his window down, I have zero issue with him not stopping. Now, again, we're looking through this through Dad Bod Golf Pod glasses.
Yeah.
I get it. There may be some law enforcement out there that disagree with us.
Unless the guy jumped on the hood of the car and Scottie gassed it and he flipped over the top of the hood of the car. It's clear what happened. He was standing on the opposite side of the shoulder. He either grabbed the handle or he grabbed something, and when Scottie pulled off, he lost his balance and fell, and it made him mad. Period. End of story. That is what happened.
Embarrassing.
And embarrassed him. And ruined his $80 pair of Dickies. That is what happened.
Are Dickies $80?
No, they're not. But apparently these police, they're wearing like Peter Millar pants in their police.
Was a golf tournament.
The police uniform. No, I honestly think one of the reasons it actually went somewhere, went somewhere, is because of the cop in question who wrote it up and put it in and turned it in. And then once you do that, there's nothing you can do from that situation. Like, in other words, he wrote it up without really knowing who it was.
Right.
There's nothing you can do from that situation where you don't have egg on your face unless Scottie were to settle. Because then you can kind of say he's admitting.
And his lawyer was not going to admit.
And the lawyer, the attorney, holy cow, that dude is.
Let me tell you something. I said
scary.
This last time. If a dude shows up in a seersucker or a tan suit and he's a lawyer with a southern accent, you're losing. I'm sorry, that's just the rules. It's in every John Grisham book. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, you're losing the case. Number two, this was my second point that I was going to make. You and I didn't even talk about this. This was a perfect opportunity. If Scottie Scheffler were not winning like he's been winning this year, I would have stuck it out. I'd have done paternity leave, and I'd have said, no, I don't agree to not suing. You've embarrassed me. You've embarrassed my family. And I got a kid at home. I need to be home with my wife.
You show
anyway.
me mine, I'll show you yours.
Yep, let's just go ahead. You go, excuse me while I whip this out. Let's just go ahead and let's see. And otherwise, he's got a good run going, so he did not do that. But I do wonder if he had 0 wins on the year thus far and then has the baby, if his lawyer goes, look, why don't you just take your paternity leave? Let's call it a year.
Let's go ahead and embarrass him.
Let's go ahead and let's make a point. They've already had issues in the past with legal issues, the Breonna Taylor incident that we talked about with the Louisville Police Department. Let's go ahead and let's make an example of them again, and let's see how the city responds to that. Plus, the contract is up at the club. Now, it's probably going to renew.
Yeah.
But this was the last year. This was the last contracted year with the PGA Tour. So I'm sure the lawyer was like, we hold all the cards. Like, if you want to sue them, we can sue him.
And you know what?
I think he just wanted to go away.
Well, you know what? He probably told them that.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
He probably told them that. That's why all of a sudden they're ready
in his tan suit. I guarantee you did.
Yeah, exactly. They're ready to go ahead and say, okay, we're going to drop charges. He did not admit guilt to anything. The attorney did not let him admit guilt to anything, and it's gone. It's not no
How
longer.
Many clients does that attorney? Because he's a Louisville.
The
attorney.
marketing from that incident is invaluable. He probably doesn't need it, but
if I get in trouble in Louisville, guess who I'm calling?
How much can he really? How much money did he really make off that though?
Well, he's charging. Well, he's charging by the hour, so whatever his hourly rate is.
Thousands of dollars. I mean,
and of course he's getting. Let me tell you something. Them suits,
they don't pay for themselves.
Suits, they don't buy themselves.
Yeah, and he's probably past the point.
That Land Rover he drove up in, didn't. They don't give those away. Kyle.
He's probably past the point where he would take one of those cases on pro bono or whatever. Well, it's not really pro bono. He'd take one of those cases on just for the publicity. He's probably way past that point.
Well, think of where he's licensed. Think about all the high-profile people near Louisville. I mean, he's not far from southern portion of Ohio and some bigger cities that are there. I mean, how many stars call him now to go, hey, we saw what you did. I need help.
Yeah.
And
I've done way worse.
I mean, yeah.
Help me.
It's nowhere near, but I mean, that's what happened to all those attorneys in the OJ case.
Yeah.
Every one of them made billions after the OJ case.
Billions or millions?
Johnny Cochran made billions. Now, I don't know about the rest of the team.
Yeah.
That dude, he's got law offices down in Montgomery. He's dead.
The legacy lives. The legacy lives.
It's still the Cochran law firm that's down there.
You're right. You're
right
about that.
I mean, trust me, billions. I promise.
We'll look that up. Don't fact check us.
Not Billboard Shannara billions, but billions.
There you go. There you go. So that whole deal has finally been put to bed. It's over. Oh, the police officer puts out a statement.
Oh, this made it worse to me.
Which is, to me, why do you let this guy even say anything? Like, and if you're him, you want to just not be known. Like, you want to be. If that were me, I would want to just basically crawl off in a hole and die. But I would definitely not want to put anything out there. I want people to forget me as fast as possible. No, now in the history of ever, he has his written statement about this, where he's very, in my opinion, condescending, very sarcastic, and almost kind of throws it back at Scottie Scheffler, based off of what the DA said. The DA said that they didn't, it seemed like there wasn't any much of a case, and
he brought the pants back into it.
And then at the end, he brings the pants back into it. Yes, legitimizing why he put it in there. Yes, the police department makes us pay for our own pants. Therefore, I put it in the police report, arresting Scottie Scheffler, the #1 golfer in the world.
Here's where he missed a chance to go away. So, I was traveling that weekend. I told you I was down in South Florida with my dad when it took place. The first two pictures that came out of the police officer were not the actual pictures. He had a chance to pull full anonymity except for his name. People would remember his name.
Yeah.
Because there were sources that were releasing pictures of police officers, and the first two that came out, because I saw somebody bring this up, were not of him.
Right.
However, when this statement was released, not only did they release a statement, they released his actual police photo of what he looks like in uniform, and I was like,
and you can see the name
you
on
had
the
a chance to go away.
Yeah.
Like, you had a chance for people.
Let me tell you what, that guy
in 10 years to not know who you are.
That guy can't help it.
No.
That guy can't. No. When I say that guy, I'm talking about that is a characteristic of.
Oh, that's regardless of profession. That is him.
That guy.
That's that guy.
There are lots of those guys. They can't not fade into oblivion. This is the guy that wants to lead the league in traffic citations, and
he's trying to win the PIP of police officers.
Yes, totally. That's a great analogy.
And it's not going to work. Like, I think it's totally backfiring on him.
Totally.
Hey, and good luck getting a promotion from here.
Yeah.
Congratulations on topping out at your career.
Yep, you're going to be on parking detail for the most part, and deservedly so, because clearly any little bit of power and if you're put in any kind of like somewhat sketchy situation, you fold. You fold, and you lose composure.
I mean, it's going to be one of those things when a call goes out for the Louisville Police Department, they're going to say, everybody respond but him.
Yeah.
But Detective Gillis.
Don't even think about it.
Detective Gillis, stay at your desk. We don't need any
Do
more.
your desk pop.
Like, news organizations are already there. Cameras are there. I do not want you being seen anywhere near the scene.
Have you ever seen the movie Other Guys?
Yes.
You know how Mark Wahlberg's character is, he's like, you'll always be remembered as the guy who shot Jeter?
Yes.
He'll always be the guy remembered as the guy who arrested.
Somebody has to AI that and put that.
Oh, yeah.
You'll always be known as the guy that arrested Scottie Scheffler.
Yeah, that arrested Scottie Scheffler. That hit him with a flashlight.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be great. But anyway, yep. So that's done, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna bury it and move on,
No, we're
unless
not.
something else
Come
comes of it. Before we go to our next topic, talk the U.S. Women's Open.
Hey, wait a second.
Go ahead.
I just thought of something.
All right.
Scottie can't sue, but what if Scottie's representation or his wife sues for
I'm sure
punitive damages?
there's no way. I don't think there.
I don't think he would.
I don't think anything's gonna come.
I think
up.
he wants it to go away.
Yeah.
I think Scottie's the person out. Here's the thing: is if that's Tiger, if that's a killer mentality, if that's a Jack Nicklaus, if that's
Maybe
a,
not Jack.
If that's a Terrell Hatton, like
If it's the wrong guy.
I guarantee you, Hatton's John Rombo.
Oh man.
They're sitting there going, "Oh no, F
It'd be
that.
the John
We're
Rahm.
not."
It'd be the John Rahm Police Department.
Yes, they're like, "F that. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to answer for this. I was embarrassed on national television.
In a way, he arrested the wrong guy and the right guy.
Oh,
If that
definitely
makes
the
sense.
right guy.
If that makes sense.
From a personality standpoint, it was the right guy.
Yep. All right. So tonight at Bunkers, let's talk about what we had. So,
I want to get it right.
yeah, we haven't had a pizza in a while, and they got a new pizza that came out about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Bourbon butter shrimp pizza.
There's no way I'm going to be able to call that white sauce.
Okay, so it's instead of like
Bacamel. What is it?
Instead of just call it white sauce, dude. It's fine. People get it. Instead of like the red pizza sauce.
You don't even know where Texas is. Why am I asking you?
Yeah, exactly. Instead of the red pizza sauce, it's got a white sauce with the grilled shrimp, bacon, and then more cheese on top.
Fontina cheese.
Fontina cheese, the best. That's literally the best pizza I think I've ever had.
It's the best one we've had. We've had margarita.
I'm talking about of any pizza place.
Any pizza.
Any pizza. That's the best pizza I've ever had. Definitely the best one here. Anywhere a pizza. That's one thing, and I'm not just blowing smoke. Like the pizza here is incredible. It's like
The Southern barbecue fried chicken's pretty good.
It is good.
Because you and I had that.
I did, and I loved it.
It's
and I
got
loved
the honey hot sauce on it,
But
but we
we-
didn't have that tonight.
Right, the bourbon, butter, shrimp pizza, white sauce, unbelievable. Then we also had the pork trio sliders. Is that right?
Yeah,
For an appetizer?
they brought us 4 of those, and it comes topped with a red onion, their homemade
Cojita
barbecue
cheese.
sauce that they got, and what is it?
Cojita.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? That crumble cheese, that Mexican crumble cheese.
Cotija.
Yeah, whatever. It's good. White cheese. It's really, really good. And then this is a cool thing. They're coming out soon.
And tomatillo aioli.
Tomatillo aioli. There you go. So in about 2 weeks, they're retooling their house cocktail menu. Okay, before they only had like 7 or 8. In about 2 weeks, they're going to have 14 new cocktails, and we're going to talk about
Minimum 14.
Yeah,
Is it more than
that's
that?
minimum. We're going to be talking
Yeah.
about those probably next week. But one of the ones that they made for us was it's like an Arnold Palmer, but with a peach, like a peach tea. They call it the Peachy
So
Palmer,
it's Peachy Palmer.
and it's
It's delicious.
very good,
Yeah.
very good. Sweet tea, fresh lemon juice.
No, they let the peach and the lemon.
That's right.
It's unsweet
It's
tea.
unsweet tea. They let the sweetness comes from the peach.
Yes.
And then it's bourbon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Your
So-
choice of bourbon, it does come standard with Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace.
which
They got
those
a
you
pile of
that
Buffalo Trace
are
here.
Buffalo Trace fans know that there's a shortage of that. They even had a thing at the ABC store, I don't know, like a month ago where limited you could go and buy 1 bottle. Well, they've got a
They
ton
got
on
plenty
hand here.
They got plenty here, and they make a lot of their bourbon drinks with Buffalo
Yes.
Trace. So something to look forward to. But yeah, food's amazing. The simulator's great. We played a few holes of Muirfield Village since you got the Memorial coming up. I mean, it's as good as it gets. I mean, it's as good as it gets without being there. And we had a lot of fun doing it.
I got a sneaky admission here. It said old course and new course. Kyle had to remind me that they refurbished the course. I don't know why you would play the old course, because that's not what you can play right now if you went to Muirfield Village and played. So we played the new course, and it's interesting. We did not get to 18. I do want to get to 18 to see how hard it is, because they make it seem way harder than what it is when it goes in. Because every time they show it from above, I'm like, okay, you either aim at the creek on the left and hit a cut, or you aim at the tree on the right and hit a draw.
Yeah.
Like, and they always hit 3-wood. Like, they never hit driver unless they're trying to get up as far as possible. Then I understand when they screw it up, because they're trying to get it past the tree so they can have a wedge in instead of an 8-iron.
And what also I've heard is if you finish 18, they pull you off the course and test you for COVID.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. And you know what? If you test positive, you go home.
Yep.
You don't get to play anymore. Even though
your bill gets doubled, actually.
Even though you shoot 10 under on the round, you have to go home.
Yep. That's a little homage to John Rahm, who was winning by 37 shots.
Let me just tell you, that's what drove him to live. I'm saying it right now. He would not have gone to live if the PGA Tour had not cost him a win on the PGA Tour.
That was at least strike 2, for sure. 100%.
How about, how's he feel now with all that, not to get political, all that Fauci stuff that's coming out saying he made a bunch of stuff up?
Well,
now
again, let's don't go there. But
yeah, but
he's
fine.
He's fine. He made $500 million. He's fine. He doesn't care.
He said it wasn't quite $500 million.
$500 million?
Yeah.
Whatever. Regardless. It's not how many digits?
It's like 300 plus.
9
million.
digits. It was 9 digits.
Yeah.
So who cares? You stick me or don't stick me, whatever. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Women's U.S. Open was this past weekend.
Oh.
Honestly, there was only a few storylines that I really got into, and
there were two.
There was two
that I got into, and I watched it all weekend.
I did watch a little bit of the final round, but I think the Sasso girl who'd won, I think, the same tournament last year had a pretty good lead, and there wasn't really anybody.
Yeah, she tried to blow it. She made a couple of bogeys on the final day, but so did everybody else. So she ended up, I think, 3-shot winner. I think the biggest news was round 1. I get a notification because they teed her off early on Thursday so they could get primetime coverage on Friday afternoon, which was Nelly Korda. And notification pops off my phone, and it goes, Korda card's a 10 at number 12. Keep in mind, this is her 3rd hole of the day.
Ouch. Yeah, so you're pretty much done.
And so
it's a par 3
because she started on the back 9.
Ben says 12's a par 3. I think he's right. It could be.
It definitely was a par 3. It definitely was. She recorded a 10 on a par 3. I can't remember if it was 11 or 12. I'm pretty sure it was 12.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. She goes over the green, and it's playing anywhere from 145 to 170. It's kind of a deep hole. However, it has a huge false front, so anything in the front is not staying. She almost hit in it in day 2 as well. The rough kept her from going in the water again. She caught it fat on day 2 on Friday.
And it didn't make it to the water?
No. She hit it. She also caught it fat and pulled it left, so it got hung up in the tall rough before the water.
Okay.
But she was still inside the yellow line.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah. And so that's the thing that people have asked. It was yellow line hazard. And so she goes over the green in 1 in the bunker. She says there was no video evidence that there was a leaf under her ball, so it came out lower than what she thought and with no spin, so it skipped on her. And, of course, it got to that false front, went down in the creek. Well, the way that works on that type hazard, she had to go back across the creek and drop to play again. Well,
it's a pretty nasty false front, and I think she hit it back in twice.
And that's the thing. They've got the pin tucked front left from the tee box, and she got cute with the first one, landed not pin high, short of the pin, of course rolls back in the water. The second one she hit, she splashed it. She just chunked it. It wasn't. So it's funny because at that point they like cut to she and her caddy, and it's almost like her caddy's giving her that look of, I need you to put this on the green.
Yeah, just hit it behind the hole and 2-putt.
So then she ends up 3-putting, and of course she takes a 10 on the hole. So she starts out. She opened with a bogey, and then she has
She shot 80.
Yeah, she shot 80 that day,
which is pretty impressive.
And it's a par 70.
Which is pretty impressive because that means she was what?
Oh, she shot even on the back, or which was the front side, but she didn't.
Yeah.
She had 0 mistakes when she made the turn.
So,
all her mistakes came on the back side.
I got to say something that I feel very confident of.
Okay.
I'm very confident I've never made a 10 on a par 3.
No, and you and I were talking about this beforehand. I haven't played in near as many golf tournaments as Nelly Korda has, but Kyle and I have talked about it. We've played in money games as well as various tournaments where you play it out. So there's no, once you have a double pickup just because you're trying to speed up the pace of play. Nope, you got to play it out. And not on a par 3, I have not had a 10.
I've had a pile of 6s. I've probably had some 7s. But I still 3 shots to get to a 3 more shots.
I know for a fact I've had an 8 on a par 3 in a tournament that I played in.
Even that's hard. That's 5 shots over.
But I've never had a 10 on a par 3.
So is that like 10 cup-ish?
Oh yeah, there were all kinds of. There was one video that went around that showed all of her shots, and right before she hit her last ball, it cut to the movie of 10 Cup with him asking Romeo for a ball.
Yeah.
So they used that as her reaching
What
out
about
and
her? That's what's so uncharacteristic of her. Is it maybe that first one went in, and then once the first one in, you're like, screw it, I'm done now? Or did she give up that quick?
Man, I don't know, because she could have. She goes over, and then when she has to drop, she can still get up and down for bogey.
No, so she was 1.
No, she could have gotten
2
double.
in, 3 out, 4 in, 5 out, but she could have gone, hit it past 6, 7, 8, and then you're only 5 over. You shoot 78,
right?
And you probably, because I think she shot even par the next day, or maybe a couple over.
Mm-hmm.
You probably got a chance.
She finished at 10. She finished at 10, so she finished. She was 10 over the first day. She finished at 10 for the tournament.
What was the cut? Do you remember?
8.
It was 8, so there you go. That could have been the difference. I don't know. It's just weird of her, but that was talked about. She was
just like you just said. She said she'd never done that.
Yeah, she was pretty salty in the press conference, just from the fact that, hey, I'm not going to be perfect every time, which I get it.
Oh, the best part was the salt. Now, okay, TV. I know y'all want to protect the players. Y'all missed the first part of it. On day 2, she comes up short, as I said. It rolls back. Ruff holds it up. She's still inside the yellow line. She chips up short, but then she makes like a 30-footer for par.
Yeah.
After she picks her ball out of the cup, she looks at the green as she's walking off, and she goes, F you.
Nice.
Like that. Now, saw it live, and then when y'all showed the replay television, I think it was Peacock that it was on, y'all cut it right before she said that. She got through the F part, and as soon as she said the F part, y'all were like, and that was Nelly Korda.
Did she say the letter, or did she say the whole word?
Oh, she said the whole word.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
That's awesome.
She dropped the F-bomb on television with a smile and everything, and even like waved her arms and said, F you, just like that.
Cool.
And
respect.
She apparently, Kang, one of the playing partners, apparently are really good friends and neighbors. Okay. And so as she's walking off the green after that par, Kang gives her like a low 5 and starts laughing with her. So clearly they were not happy with that hole.
Yeah, tough hole. And then the second story that really caught fire,
it's dominated the entire U.S.
This was basically the whole thing. There's a picture comes out, and it's, gosh, my mind just went blank.
Charley Hull.
Charley Hull is signing an autograph.
Those of you who don't remember, she's the one that took the divots with the driver.
Yeah,
about 3 or 4 years ago.
She's attractive, very attractive.
Social
golfer, social
darling.
media darling. She's signing autographs with a extremely long cigarette hanging out, hanging out.
It was the way it was hanging out.
She's a pro. She is a pro cigarette smoker.
It was. I mean, she was signing autographs like this.
She's done that before.
It wasn't. She wasn't up in there like John Day. She literally was. She was working on your carburetor while she was.
Oh yeah. She's telling you that you need your air filter changed, your blinker fluid's low, all this stuff.
All the belts need to be changed.
Yeah. That's what she's telling you, and she's signing autographs. And then like anytime she ever had a cigarette, they're you know.
Oh, they were
following her.
superimposing even while she was on the course. And that's the thing is during one of her press conferences, she goes, "It's one cigarette." Like, why are y'all making this big of a deal out of it? It's like, well, because number one, you're attractive. Number two, you went to sign kids' autographs with a cigarette hanging out of your mouth. Number three, and Kyle and I talked about this, she admitted this in the press conference. Some dude gave her a sheet of paper and said, "This is my number. Call me and tell me later where I need to take you to dinner."
I think she was on. She had a cigarette more than just once though, because
No, she had one in that. She just said that's the one that went. They caught one when she was in her pink outfit, but it was the one in her black shirt that she got caught.
Well, I think she was smoking one walking down the fairway, and some guy says, "Rip that thing, Charlie."
I knew who that was.
Who was it?
It was Foreplay that did that.
Was it?
Yes.
Well, that was on their Twitter. I don't know if it was them. It could have been a video.
It was them on Insta too.
Well,
They
it could
didn't
have
credit
been.
anybody.
Well, they do that all the time.
Oh.
Where somebody sends them a video, and then, they say, "Rip that thing, girl," and then she said, "I hope you're talking about my driver."
Yes.
But yeah, some guy gives her his phone number. That became a thing.
Listen, I love it. These people are just humans. They're just like all the rest of us. I mean, Kyle and I we've played with guys that I would have never expected to smoke a cigarette. And next thing you know, we're on hole number 3, and I'm looking over there, and they're 3 over after 3, and they've got the pack out, and they're just pounding them left and right. And I'm like, I didn't know this guy smoked. So she said it's a relaxing thing. It's not necessarily habitual. I love the fact that she doubled down. And somebody said, "Well, why are you smoking cigarettes?" And she said, "I'm trying to quit vaping."
That's funny. Usually it's the other way around.
So her personality makes this even better, in my opinion, that she's handling it the way she did, because she didn't get hoity-toity and high up about it. She just was like, "Yeah, I smoke. Like, what?
Yeah, why do we care?
Yeah, what? You know, why
a lot
do
of people do.
Why do we care?"
Yeah.
And so I loved it. If there were a pip for LPGA, she won it this weekend.
Yeah, she got a lot of action this weekend. Let me rephrase that. She got a lot of views. Got a lot. I didn't mean to say it that way. You know what I'm talking about.
Maybe she did text that number.
Maybe she should have. She should have done that. They asked her about it in the press conference. She should have called him right there.
She should have. Like
That'd have been hilarious.
When she said that, gave the number, she should have pulled it out of her pants pocket, and she should have said, "You know what? Let's see how for real he is about this."
Yeah, you gonna put your money? Let's put our money where our mouth is.
And not texted him. She should have called him.
Yeah, that'd have been hilarious.
And said, "You know what? I'm at the press conference.
Missed opportunity.
Would you like to repitch your idea of what you wanted to do tonight?"
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, it was.
So hate that. But
now I want to play golf with her.
yeah, I bet she'd be fun. I bet she'd be a fun scramble partner. Last thing to talk about real quick.
I bet she drinks Budweiser.
Oh, there's no doubt. She doesn't drink anything that says light in it. Nothing that says light. It's all
I agree.
the original.
She may just go straight bourbon on the course.
She's from England, right?
I couldn't tell if she was British or Australian.
It's a pretty big difference. Pretty big difference. I don't know either. It doesn't matter.
How
But,
would you know? You don't know where either one of those are
I don't know. I think Britain and Australia are pretty far apart, from what I understand. Like almost a whole day apart. They're a good bit apart.
Don't go down this road.
I don't even remember what we're talking about anymore.
Charley Hull.
I know, but what specifically?
Whether she was a straight bourbon drinker or a Budweiser.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
said
yeah,
no
yeah,
light
yeah.
beer.
I guess that's a big difference. What are they drinking? Is Australia a beer place or is that a liquor place?
Oh yeah, both are beer places. Both are.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's
you
a
got
beer.
yeah.
She's a beer girl.
Yeah, you got all the pubs that are in England, and you got the.
Bet she's a Guinness.
That's not England.
It's not.
No.
Where is that?
It's Irish.
Okay, you're right. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I think she's beer and cigarettes.
That's a Rory.
Okay. Beer and cigarettes.
Wrong
That's
country.
Wrong country. Close enough. All the same. It's all the same folks. Started from the same place.
You know what they call cigarettes over there in Britain, don't you?
Yeah, don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud. All right, last thing we're going to talk about. I like this. made me feel more validated at the golf tournament, the Canadian Open. Fluff McGowan, what's his last name?
Yeah, you had it right.
Yeah, Fluff, the caddy, gets injured, which I assume he must have slipped and fell because it was pretty wet.
He did.
And nasty.
They never showed the actual slip, but they showed him getting up, and it was coming from down a hill, so I'm assuming that's what took place.
And he's older, so it could happen. But
He's in his 70s, man.
CT Pan, who was obviously he was caddying for, has to go to the bullpen. And the bullpen apparently can be literally anyone that you ask, and they will do it. They asked the guy to come out of the stands, come out of the crowd. He comes out, no questions asked, and within the first hole, Ben says he's having he lost head covers. He lost
the putter head cover on the first hole.
Yeah.
Now, he did pick it up. I sent the reel to Kyle because when Kyle caddied, the head cover was an issue for him.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Twice.
Because he doesn't leave his head cover when we're playing.
No.
Ever.
I think so you're carrying a bag, so it's bouncing. And number two, I don't know if it just like bounces to where it just knocks the putter head cover off, or there's so many things. Like me, I psych myself out with all the different things I got to keep up with. But it happened to me twice. It did happen to me twice. I lost it on the first day. It was a great episode that we talked about.
Yeah.
And then I lost it again, and it just so happened to me that a buddy of mine was following us, and I was like, "Hey, I dropped the head cover again. Will you go get it?"
So glad it wasn't me that day.
And he looked at me like, "Are you serious? You did it again?" But no, I think that's the coolest thing ever. Now,
so let me walk you through the beginning of this. So when Fluff fell, that particular gentleman, who by the way was in his Masters T-shirt, so he was prepared for this. He was ready.
Big guy,
big dude. He looks at Fluff because CT Pan keeps after the people are seeing about him. He thinks Fluff's okay, so he kind of goes up to see where his ball is. People forget the very first person he introduced himself to. Shane Lowry was in that group. He introduced himself to Shane Lowry first before he even met the guy who was fixing to tote his bag for. And so he looks at Fluff. He said, "Hey, man, do you need a hand?" And that was when he knew Fluff was hurt because Fluff looked at him and said, "Yes." And I was like, "Uh-oh.
Yeah.
How bad is this?" And so he goes down to, like, help him. And then Fluff basically says, "Can you carry the bag? Can I go get seen about? Do you mind carrying the bag?" So he asked him to carry the bag. And so
he struggled putting the vest on.
He hands him the bib.
The bib was an
issue.
A
beast. I mean, number one, he was already probably sweaty and everything else, so putting it on was not the easiest thing.
And he's a bigger guy. Let's just call it.
So it gets better because there is a local caddy that is watching this on television, and a few holes later sees it and sees the CT Pan needs help, so he goes and relieves the guy.
Oh, I would. You'd have had. Have you ever seen Major League 2? You ever seen Major League 2?
Yes.
You know when Dorn gets hit by the pitch and he goes on first base?
Yeah.
And they're trying to sub in the runner? That would have been me. Nope, I'm good. I got it. I'm the caddy now. I'm good. That's exactly what I would be like.
Yeah. I was disappointed when I saw that later because they didn't cover CT Pan anymore the round after that. I didn't know that happened until the next day where they subbed out this guy. And I was like, man, you subbed out the guy. Like,
oh, you'd had to call the cops.
He took one for the team and goes out there,
I'm
steps
getting
away
a percentage.
from his family.
I'm getting a percentage. I'm just going ahead and tell you if I got.
And it's not just I don't want you CT. I don't want you just giving me $100 bill and going, hey, thanks for the effort.
And a box of balls.
Oh no, it doesn't work that way, bub.
Yeah, if there's 10% out there, I'm getting at least one.
Yep, one.
Maybe. I mean, you're only carrying it for the end of a round.
I'm pitching high. We're going 5%.
Oh wow.
Going
That's a big
5,
cut.
and then we'll work our way back.
That's a big cut.
Yeah.
You may have to negotiate with Fluff though, and Fluff's way more intimidating than
That's
CT
when you
Pan.
look at Fluff and you go, did anybody else have to help you while you were down there? That was me, Fluff. Fluff made plenty of money.
You keep saying that. You can never make too much money. You can't say that anymore.
But this wasn't his money. CT Pan's money.
It's Fluff's money though too, because he's earning
future money, potential money.
That's a cool thing. So, I think I'm going to start going to tournaments and booby trapping caddies to see if I can not mortally wound one, but see if I can maybe ding one up and get on the bag.
Listen, this happened
throw out a little oil or a banana peel.
In Opelika when they had the tournament there. What was the name of that tournament? You remember?
Barbasol.
Yeah, Barbasol tournament. And at 9, Caddy was overheated. And they pulled a guy out of the crowd.
Oh,
now,
that's my dream.
Here's my thing. So the only 2 times that I've seen this happen live was at the Barbasol when it took place and this tournament. Yeah. I've seen it where they've reported on this before where they needed somebody to fill in, so they did. Why did they pick the 2 most – because the guy at Barbasol was also big and out of shape, already sweating from being out there.
Unfortunately, that's most of America. I mean, it's not like there's a bunch of dudes in CrossFit like walking around watching golf.
I guess you're right.
I mean, Fluff is not. Let's just call it. He's not necessarily in the greatest. Clearly not, but he's never really been a peak athletic.
No, but he's lost a lot of weight since he was on Furyk's bag, but he's got an excuse. He's friggin' 70+ years old.
How many caddies do you see and you're like, man, that guy's put together?
I don't know about put together, but not the size of that dude, man.
He was a bigger guy.
That's a defensive lineman that just took
He was. He played guard in high school. There's no doubt. Not point guard.
Same dude that picked it up at the Barbasol. I mean, 6'4", 6'5".
Portly.
Pushing 320.
Oh, man. Prototype offensive tackle.
And he's like, I'll tote your bag the next night. I'm like, bro, this is such a dumb idea for you to do right now.
Back 9's pretty hilly. Well,
they flip them, so it would have been the front.
It would have been the flatter one. But there is a big hill. That going down up to the tee box on, is it 5, and then going downhill and coming back up?
Well, that whole par 5 is down and up, and then the next one's down and up.
Yeah,
it's not
a walker-friendly course.
No, it is not at all. And the distance between holes, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it's tough.
And so, again, hey, more fit guys, not me. That's why it's called Dad Bod Golf Pod. Go to golf tournaments. You may get your shot.
You never know.
Saying.
Find you the most frail caddy you can, and follow him.
Find the 73-year-old retiree that is walking around on wet hills.
Hey, CT Pan, from now on, huge crowds.
Oh, no doubt.
Huge crowds.
No doubt.
Yeah, and everybody be fighting over who gets to be the caddy.
I keep saying that's going to happen with Jordan Spieth and Greller. Greller's just going to walk off, though.
Nah.
You know
I think they're too much alike.
Yeah, I think you're
they
right.
get each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, really appreciate it. You got to come check out Bunkers. The food here is amazing. The drinks are amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. The simulators are amazing. Come hang out on a Monday night. We get here about 5 o'clock on Mondays. Hit a couple of balls. Have a few drinks. Eat some good food, and come hang, watch us record. And, if you don't want to do that, you can come any other night of the week and enjoy the atmosphere yourself.
Or grab the sim next to us. It sounds great when people are hitting balls next to us.
Yeah.
Everybody avoids us. They go to the top part because they're afraid they're going to upset us. We like to hear the driver being pounded next to us.
Absolutely. Send it. Come send it right beside us. But y'all have a great rest of the week, and we'll catch you again next week. This is another episode of the Dad Bod Golf Pod.
We're always stroking.